Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Gridiron podcast. Unfortunately, Mike is unable to join us today and this week due to not feeling good. So hopefully you feel better, Mike. But you guys got me this week, so let's get straight into it. All right, I'm going to talk about if the Bears are further or closer to the Super Bowl to start with. Now, I think they are further than most people think, but closer than Mike thinks. I was able to talk to Mike off camera, and he thinks they are a couple moves away. I think they're honestly just one move away with an edge rusher. Now, seeing some rumors around Max Crosby, the top three teams really for him right now are the Lions, Bears, and Eagles. And it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out with him going to leave Vegas this year, which I'm pretty sure is bound to happen. And with them also getting a new head coach. So it's going to be interesting. I think they are closer than Mike thinks and further than majority people think, because some people do think that they are Super Bowl now. Now, going into the entirety of the NFC North, that being the Packers, Bears, Vikings, and Lions, in terms of if certain situations happen, where I think it stands. Now, with the Packers, they did face their fair share of injuries this year, most notably to Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft, where they had to basically change their entire scheme, both on offense and defense. And then potentially losing Romeo Doubs in the offseason. So if situations like that come along again, like injuries, or if Jordan Love has a year of regression, I can see them potentially not making the playoffs. They were able to make the playoffs this year off a stellar NFC North season, and they weren't able to close out some games, notably to the Cleveland Browns, where they lost 13-10. So I do think if a lot of these situations happen again this year, it's going to be bad news for the Packers. Now, in terms of the Lions, we do see that the Lions have led the NFL in injuries the last 2 years, which I think Aiden Hutchinson, after the injury that he faced 2 seasons ago, should have won Comeback Player of the Year. He basically snapped his leg in half and then finished the season with 14.5 sacks. But obviously that award went to Christian McCaffrey, who was in and out last season and then proceeded to get 2,000 plus scrimmage yards. But I do believe that Aiden Hutchinson should have won that award. So I do think in terms of if injuries happen again on the scale that it has happened for the Lions the last couple of years, and if Jared Goff has a year of regression, or any of these star players such as Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, I could see them potentially not making the playoffs again. They are a win-now team as well, along with the Packers. So it would be interesting to see, especially now that rumors are circling around Alex Anzalone, whether he's going to be a Detroit Lion again, or rumors are circling about him potentially going to the Jets to basically team with Aaron Glenn again. So should be very interesting, and not knowing the status of star safety Kirby Joseph, as well as whether Sam Laporta will be ready come week 1. So if all of those situations happen, I don't see them making the playoffs again this year, which would be very disappointing for sure. Now with the Bears, Caleb Williams going into his third year. If he has a regression, it's going to be bad. They didn't really have that many injuries this year. But they are essentially a win-now team as well. And the Bears are interesting because you have Ben Johnson as the head coach, and you could see a scenario where a quarterback regresses, such as Caleb Williams, throws too many interceptions, and it could lead to their downfall. Because DeAndre Swift, for example, he is getting older, and running backs who are in this time of his career are very few and far between, as a running back's career average is like 5 to 8 years, give or take. But it should be interesting because they do have Monangai, who was really good this past season as a rookie. So should be very interesting. Now for the Vikings, if J.J. McCarthy has any sort of season like he did this year, I can see Kevin O'Connell being fired. For the sole reason that he wanted Sam Darnold to stay, right? Sam Darnold now proceeded to win a Super Bowl. And they just fired their GM. And what I'm hearing is potentially they're keeping J.J. McCarthy still. So if he has another season like he did this past season, I could see Kevin O'Connell going, because this is a team that made the playoffs 14-3 and then proceeded to miss the playoffs. And the year before they went 14-3, I think they were like 5-12 or something like that, something around those, like that record. But I would say if J.J. McCarthy, yes, if he has that sort of season, and if their run game can't do much, it will spell disaster for this Vikings team. And I do want to say congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for winning the Super Bowl. It was a no-brainer. It was scary with all the field goals, but got it done. And that's all you can ask for. Kenneth Walker, as a Michigan State fan, congrats on winning Super Bowl MVP. And we'll see where the sale of the Seattle Seahawks comes to. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. I hope Mike feels better. This is a little bit of a shorter episode. And this was a great NFL season. We got more off-season content coming for you guys. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Gridiron Pod NFL. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It takes 5 seconds. It's free. It helps us be able to come out with better content. Leave a comment on what you thought of this week's episode, and leave a comment as to whether you liked the halftime show this year. So, thank you guys for tuning in. We're here every single Thursday, and we'll see you guys in the next one.